Alright. Yo, what's up, guys? Yo, Rambe, thank you so much for the resub. For 70 months, bro, thank you so much. I'm not gonna be talking much, obviously, because it's pretty late. And my girlfriend's trying to sleep. But I have an idea of what we're gonna be using. All right. So today, guys, it's going to be Zweihander on strength. We're gonna try to make the best build we can for Spy specifically. We definitely want crouch attack. We want crouch attack. Probably want spear tally, and ideally this. Something like that. Let's see how much endurance we need. So we're fine at 40 endurance. Now we're gonna level up for damage. You definitely don't really need much more than that, though. You go here like that. Not sure I want the dex. Yeah, let's go like this. Yo, Kinnock, how you doing, man? Yeah, we're gonna try like this. We're gonna keep it simple. Alright, let's try this out. I don't know Firekeeper anymore. I don't have that much time. Dude. It takes forever to do these characters in these games. So, it's hard to say, honestly. Was my plan, but now that you mention it. perfect timing. Good. Oh my god, you would do a charge. Crazy, man. Yo, Old Mask, thank you so much for the resub for 37, dude. Be the next big entry, unite the community again. Yeah. Maybe it's not gonna come from FromSoft. Maybe it's gonna be from someone else, but you're right. Grinding materials for builds put me off from this game 2 years ago. Yeah, I can feel that. Like, when people complain about like others duping stuff or using save editing, I completely get it. But you can't blame the player though. Like it's really the developer's fault. It really is. You just respec every stream if you need another build. Yeah, I think that's what's the like. I think like respecing, reloading your save is like the middle ground between like trying to use as much of what the game gives you without like abusing any exploit. I mean, obviously it is an exploit, but it's probably like the most mild one because you still acquired everything you're using, you know? But I mean, to each his own. Like I don't think people should feel bad about anything. The PC dueling mods dev added a leaderboard to the mod Coliseum, and Green reached the first place by queuing with BHSTS, and the latter room player were molding. That's so funny, dude. Dude, that is so funny. I'd love to hear that. Great story, man. I mean, Green is good, though. That's the thing. Like, they act like he's not. Like, it's not just because of TS that he's good. Like, Green is super legit. And also, let's not act like Elden Ring should be taken that seriously. My path to this guy is... Oh, I was trying to BS in there. There you go. The other way, buddy. I think for now, we're just gonna let this play out. Like I had a higher chance of losing just approaching the boss, and the other guy was just ignoring it, so it was just a matter of time. People who care about the ladder are super sensitive about it. I mean, it's normal though. Like, if you care about something, no matter what it is, like, you know, that's part of that's part of the deal, really. Like, if you want to become good at anything, no matter how significant or insignificant it is, you have to care about it. I don't blame them for that. What I find funny is that they have their own little set of rules. That's what I find funny. Not that they care about the game or not. You know, people can care about whatever they want. I'm just glad we managed to kill the Phantom before the fog. What's our AR on Spy here? 763. What if we compare that to this here? 872. 100 more AR. But the weight difference is significant. This place again. The lag was that. Probably didn't get hit by the punch. Let's move out. Bro, the input eating in this game. And shit, player goes down by himself. That's quite insane. You consider making a PvP guide on balancing equipment management, inventory, meta? I've already done that. If you just, you know, type some JeeNiNe guides or whatever on YouTube, how to swap, you know, inventory layout. I already did vids like that. Quite in depth too. Is it always optimal to make meta builds using Great Jar Talisman? No, it depends on what you're using. Like if you're making an optimal twisting sword build, you're probably not gonna need it. Wow, that's a backstab attempt. Hey! There's a surprising amount of activity right now, more than usual. No, the 125 is pretty dead nowadays. I moved up to 150 because of that. Like, no one really played at 125. I was like the last one. That should be a roll catch. Am I gonna do 2v2s later? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. Depends on who's on. Like, you know, if Ken Nuck is there, Baby Turtle is there, if Green is there, like, we might do it, but, you know, if no one's there, like, no. Oh, it's the same gankers. Whoa, that's risky. Yo, Rust, how you doing, man? You just tried the Mistfall Hunter beta? No, I did not. It doesn't look very good, if I'm being honest. Like, after I watched like some gameplay, it doesn't look very appealing. I'm sure it's not that bad. It's just feels a little bit like slop, especially, I don't know why, especially the marketing push. Like, the game was super marketed. Like, I'm quite skeptical. If you've played it though, if you want to share your experience, I'd be curious to hear what your thoughts are on the game. Played the last two beta, not optimized yet, but it's fun. I agree on the marketing though. I'll have a vid on the 30th. Didn't record beta, unfortunately. Okay. You played it, Gold Mask? Yeah, someone will definitely stream it, the Firekeeper. There's no doubt about it. It's gonna depend on the wrath of Nintendo, really. Nintendogs. Bro. I don't know, man. I'm skeptical, but, you know, if you showed me, like, Dark and Darker, just the footage when it first, like, came out, it doesn't really look like much, really. But it was very fun, you know, during the first, betas or whatever. Granted, it was a lot of fun because I played with Steel, I played with Mungus, and I played with Lost. That's probably a big reason why that was so much fun. That, you know, there was a big focus on team play in that game. But when you think about it, really, the combat for Dark and Darker, it's not really not that complex, really. What do you mean you missed the sign-up, Castle? You could have just signed up when you showed up on Discord. Like a few hours later or whatever, that you could have still signed up. Yo, Fuji, how you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Dark and Darker is horrible. Yeah, you know, now I think you're absolutely right. Like, when Dark and Darker came out, it was special, but they killed their own concept. Is the sign up closed now? I don't know if it's closed or not. I signed up on the day that it opened. Well, actually in the first minute that it opened, might I add. All right, Fuji. Oh no, doesn't seem to be that dead tonight. We're getting a fair bit of activity, so I'm sure you're gonna find stuff. You did sign up the day of, yeah. You signed up in every region to test international connectivity? Dude, you are dedicated, man. Gotta appreciate it. Oh, there is one guy. Bush PvP? Oh. Bro, this game. You can't wait to leave Elden Ring behind. Yeah. That's why the dedication. You You played Gugs recently? It must be the setup that suffers the most from unintentional backstab. I don't know, man. I get unintentional grabs all the time. I feel like to me, you've been playing PvP for years, you know? I feel like one of the biggest flaw in From Software games is they still have not realized that a lot of their inputs result in actions that you don't even mean to do and that you perform by accident. Like in Dark Souls 3, it was kicking. You'd kick by accident more than you'd kick on purpose. And in Elden Ring, it's the backstabs. The backstab would happen too, but it's more common in Elden Ring. Like you get backstabs by accident almost more than intentionally. I'd be curious to count, you know, like if we just do a stream, you know, and we count the amount of backstabs attempt on purpose and by accident, I'd really be curious. It's probably like 40% by accident and like 60% on purpose. Pretty crazy. I mean, that's bad. Like, you know, I don't know how you want to call it, like gameplay design, but it's not really gameplay. It's more like, well, I guess it is gameplay. It's where they decide to put the controls, really. Gotta love that R2 though. You think Duskblood will be mid, but you're still excited? Honestly, Castle, I'm in the same boat. I'm in the same boat. I'm very skeptical about the success of Duskblood. I mean, you know, I get it. It's an exclusivity deal. Sponsored by Nintendo. Like, the game paid for itself when it comes to, like, the perspective of FromSoft developing. But, I mean, you have to ask yourself, like, out of all the project that Nintendo could have paid for, like, why the PvP one be on Switch? You know? It's probably because they think it's the one that has the least potential. You know? Something like that. I don't know. It's just speculating, though. How did they think it was a good idea? Well, I mean, to be honest, it's a terrible idea for us, but think about it from Nintendo's perspective. Nintendo is paying for that project, sponsoring, or like, you know, producing. Or, you know, they're giving the money to FromSoft for them to produce the game. And so from Nintendo's point of view, it's an investment. And what happens? Well, you have all the diehard fans, you know, the Canuck of this world, you know, the Castle of this world, people that would have never gotten a Switch 2 in the first place, and now are getting a Switch 2 just because it's a From Software exclusive. And so Nintendo is tapping into the From Software brand and the fan base that FromSoft has already established. So from Nintendo's point of view, like, they're getting people into their ecosystem. Like, from a corporate sense, from Nintendo, it makes total sense. Brilliant business decision. And from Software's side, you know, they get the chance to make a project with virtually no risk because the game is like paid up front by Nintendo, basically. So they get to make a game with no risk, and it's not their A studio, or let's not say their A studio, their A team, because it's the same studio. Let's say they have like the B team or the C team working on Duskblood. And so for them, it doesn't take as much development resource, let's say. It's probably a smaller team. I know they've been working on it for years, but that's the time it takes to make a game. So from the point of view of FromSoft, you know, it's not a bad decision, because when you think about it, they don't risk anything. They don't risk anything, and they get a game that pays for itself. It's like they get to make a game with no risk. And they get to take risks in the direction of the game on top of that, right? They get to take the risk of doing a PvP-focused game, which is something that apparently Miyazaki wanted to do for a while. So, you know, if you look at it from their perspective, Nintendo and FromSoft, it makes sense. Like, Duskblood makes sense. For us, though, everyone thinks it's stupid that it's a Switch 2 exclusive, and quite frankly, when you think about it, I'm sure they're like the elephant in the room is if Duskblood would have been a little more single player focused, they probably would have sold a lot more. Like it would have been more beneficial for both FromSoft and Nintendo. So that's the part that's like I'm not quite sure I understand because, you know, don't get me wrong, I love PvP, but if anything, that Switch 2 exclusive probably would have or probably will or would have performed better if it was a little more PvE focused, let's be honest. So I don't know what to take away from that, you know, after saying that. Like, does that mean that FromSoft really has the desire for a PvP project and they felt like this was the window of opportunity with the right circumstances to go for it? I mean, seems like it'll be Night Rain but PvP. I mean, it could be. It really could. Are you gonna buy any other Nintendo games now that you have a Switch 2? I want to say no, but maybe at some point, you know, I'll get like a Zelda game for my girlfriend because she likes Zelda. Like, you know, I'll never really use it after Duskblood, so if she wants to play something, she can. It's either that or I sell the system back after Duskblood. It's one or the other. But me, you know, I don't have the desire to buy anything on the Switch 2. There's nothing that I want to purchase there. I mean, let me be real here. Like, it isn't the worst platform in the modern era. Let's get something clear here. Like, it is not a performant console. It's mainly aimed at children, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but like when you have like good hardware, it's going to be hard to justify playing something on the Switch 2, especially given that a lot of the games that you might be interested in on the Switch, a lot of these games, you can emulate these games for better performance on your PC, you know, on your phone, on your Steam Deck, you know, your handheld device of choice. So I feel like there's really only a few reasons why you might want to buy a Switch 2 that I think makes sense. Maybe you're a big Pokemon player and you want to play the latest Pokemon games. Or maybe you're into the Zelda games. That's another one that's probably best played on Switch 2 because the emulators take a while before the game run as well as the Switch. So yeah, if you want to play these, I think that makes sense. If you're a Duskblood player, obviously you have no choice. You know, what else, you know, can I think of? Maybe if you're a Smash Bros player, I guess Smash Bros makes sense as well. There's nowhere else to play that. You know, there's a few franchises where I think they give you a legit reason to get it, but you bring it to your friend's place for party games. I guess that makes total sense though. Like party games, that makes sense because ultimately that's what the Wii was like a super seller. Like the Wii sold like crazy. Like is that everyone could buy a Wii. Like it was a, like you said, a fun device to have when you were at home with friends. Like a fun activity. You could play like tennis in your living room. I mean, you can play that, you know, with your relatives, you know. And anyone can play. It's very approachable. So what you said kind of makes total sense. But I think the Switch 2 is still much less than what the Wii was in terms of that. It's sort of like party activity, you know, like something that everyone can play. Alright, we're gonna change area. This area seems to have died down. The Wii is so goated. You still have your Wii You Love Esports Resort. I mean, it's fun. Like, it's not something you. I mean, you know, maybe some of you do, but I don't see it as something you really play by yourself. You know, the Wii is really something like when you have like people at your place, and you're not necessarily looking to, you know, to do an activity outside, or maybe it's, you know, you've already done the activity outside, and you know, you're just like finishing the day with like a little few hours of fun time on, you know, on the Wii or something. I think that makes sense. You play with your Wii by yourself? They play with their Wii. You play with your Wii by yourself, bro. Oh man, where are the skulls emoji at? Bro, do you play with your Wii by yourself? It's so stupid, man. Oh, I think I jinxed myself. I said that the game was pretty active tonight, and now we can barely get any invasion. Of course Canuck would like the sword fights. Of course. A classic. He's a knight at heart. Do you guys know that Canuck is actually wilder? Wrong flask, buddy. Alright. I am compelled to just pull out the power. What's funny is the hits he got, it actually comboed the first and second hit because he lagged. So you have a fight like that, and like the few hits the guy gets are actual flukes. That's Elden Ring for you. There you go. Don't give up, skeleton. Yes, my favorite map in the game. I really don't like this place. I think it's fair to say that they're here. Bro, they backed up. one's a caster, man. Compelling ass gameplay. Bro, all this spell spam just for them to die in 2 hits like that. That's crazy. That is so Elden Ring. So we got people who don't play games to buy Nintendo. That is very true. Yeah, that's the right way to put it. You've seen a guy crouching in the triangle position? Have you seen a girl crouching in the triangle position, though? You cherish all your consoles. You still have your PS2 launch edition. That's crazy. Do you play it? I feel like nowadays with emulation, like emulation is so good that if you want to play a PS2 game, you can actually play like a lot of these old titles on the emulator, and you can have like frame gen on top of it, like double the FPS, and, like have crazy good performance. Oh, you know what? Let's go defense. Got to put my talisman back after healing. Did you sign up for the network test? You need a Nintendo account to sign up, and I think the the, the period is over from what chat said earlier. Oh, Canuck said it's still open. All right then. Well, dude, Castle, you never actually even tried. That's crazy. Castle complaining that he missed the sign up. Well, he told me the same day of the signed up that he forgot to do it. And now telling me again, and he just never actually did it. That's a Castle certified classic. Totally passionate about the new From Software game on the Switch, yeah. Like, I created a group with Gabri and Castle just to remind them of the sign up for the network test, because I know they both have a Switch now. And you know, Gabri signed up, you know, the day of. And then Castle messages in the group like, oh, I forgot, like the day of the sign up, I forgot to sign up. You know, he still could have done it. He just messaged us to say forgot. The day of the sign up, but he didn't actually sign up. It doesn't make any sense. And now, like, he comes in today in the stream and says that he missed the sign up. He never attempted it once. Bro, like, you cannot make that shit up. That's the guy who cut his finger cutting cigars in Cuba, by the way. Same guy. Fuck. I think we're gonna switch area again, starting to die out. Let's try vanilla area. Let's try here. Just checking the power on the controller. Can you stream the network test that you heard something about no vid capture? Okay, so the thing about like the network test is I got that from Peeve and Oro, like all the way back to the first Souls. Like FromSoft always had a discharge that said that they don't allow capture footage for every single one of the network tests, but it's like a non-written rule that they let you do it, right? And so that's why we were able to stream the Elden Ring network test, for instance, and everyone did, and there was no consequences. So even if it's written, most of the time it's allowed. Although the difference now is that Nintendo's a publisher. That's the difference. And that's sort of a big deal because Nintendo are kind of autistic, and they do copyright strike people for nothing. And so, you know, for me, I'll wait and see. I'll wait. If people stream it and there's no consequence, you know, I'll stream it. But I'm not gonna be the first one to do it. I'll wait to see what's the status quo. 10 hours left to sign up. Well, if anyone didn't sign up, now's the time. You stream it, you don't give a fuck. There you go, guys. Castle will stream it. Castle will stream it, and we'll have a backup link for like some obscure platform that Nintendo cannot copyright strike. Should be fun. This is quite risky to go in there. I think no matter what I do, my attacks will hit people. Doesn't matter the timing, doesn't matter the angle. No, I'm joking, I still timed it, but still, it's kind of funny that every attack I perform, even super slow, I always hit someone. It really does feel like paid actors. Everyone grab your Bilibili account. For real though. I'm sure you could probably stream on Bilibili without any consequence. Because if a country doesn't enforce copyright, it is China. Bro, they steal IPs for a living. What they do is steal trade secrets left and right. They don't care about it. They sell it for cheaper. Which sometimes, you know, sometimes hard to complain about it. Is that fair? No. There's no way to get anywhere. Even if they all suck, there was no way to create distance. They were too aggressive. And you can't just attack back because they all have great shields, so you're just cooking your stam if you do that. It's a dangerous area. should hit that. Shit players and their tunnel vision, bro. Well played. Guys saved me. And when it's 2v1 in a place where you have nowhere to go, like, they do pretty well. When it's a 2v2, they just fold like paper. For some reason, people don't believe you're my uncle. Don't know why. Bro, Condu, thank you so much for the bits, man. Yep, see you at Christmas. Where was that last invasion? I think it was this one. Maybe we can get the same guys again. Since it's not that active. We're gonna try. There you go. See? Game's super active, guys. First try. Nice net. And shit player goes down. It's the light roll shit net. It's the nightly special. Where's that host at though? We're gonna try to invade them again. Here, wait a bit though. Yeah. Given time to get resummoned. Now you just need to buy the console? Bro, I thought you had the console. I thought you said you did. Bro, you're never... Dude, I do not believe you're getting that console anymore. I thought you already did. It's so stupid, man. Castle, man. What the fuck? It's so funny. Oh, you're here, Fuji. I can't join you, though. Where are you at? I keep getting these shit spawn. Oh my god. Oh. That the guy just keeps running. Could still be here. I don't know. We can hear it. We hit him, but no idea where he was. That's a great invasion. We got to see Fuji just jump off, and we got to kill the host without ever knowing where he was. That's amazing. He knocked him down, but he survived. Yeah, I could see that. Plus 10 amusement. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Thankfully, he had his rune arc so we could hear it. Dude, I didn't even know that the rune arc was what it caused. What caused us to hear people. Didn't even know that was a thing. I noticed the sound before, I just didn't realize what it was. Are you gonna get Elden Ring on Switch 2? No, not Elden Ring on Switch 2. You know, the only reason I got a Switch 2 is because of Gabri, so I don't really see why I would play Elden Ring on Switch 2, to be honest. It's gonna be like a 30 FPS mess. Quite frankly, I don't understand why Steel wants to play it. Like, Steel wants to play Elden Ring on Switch 2. I mean, it's probably for the meme, but still. Sounds quite painful. Been a bug since release. When you turn your camera toward people, it plays the sound of their buffs. Runar, Crab, Uplifting. Wow, Odium, I didn't know that. Your girlfriend has a Switch too, and you have to say that it's good. Why do you say that? Come invade the same guy? Fuji, like, why? The guy... Doesn't the guy just run around? Or does he have a friend in there? Might be the second coming of the PSP. What do you play on your Switch to, Genki? What do you play on that? Or on your girlfriend's Switch to? Why nearby only? Well, we got some guys that were, quote-unquote, ganking there earlier. I was trying to get them back, but it doesn't really matter. What do we do here? It's gonna be quite difficult to win this. We're gonna give it our best shot. I was out of stam for that. It ate my input though. Oh my god, it ate my input for the Lost? Oh my god, I got scammed by this stupid game. I swapped the dagger, and then I attacked, and the game ate the input, and that cost me. That's crazy. Scammed by this shit game again, dude. I fucking hate it. Like, you lose stuff when you don't even do mistakes. Like, the game just eats the input. Like, you can't do anything. It's just complete scam. So stupid. OLED Probe's gonna release around next gen looms. What's that, Firekeeper? Didn't hear about that. Like, what's so special about this one? Like, do they still have burn-in? Like, what's the benefit of that new tech you're talking about? Feel like Switch 2 is a better Steam Deck? I think on paper Steam Deck is more performant, and Steam Deck you can emulate pretty much anything on that, so I think it's just false by default. Like, it's objectively false. And also you actually own your Steam Deck, whereas Nintendo has the power to brick your Switch 2, so I mean, that no matter how you look at it, that statement is false. Like, Steam Deck is by default superior to Switch. And also, let's not talk about the crazy input lag that the Switch 2 has on the display compared to Steam Deck, because the Switch 2 is IPS. And the Steam Deck is OLED. Like, think about it this way, like, any of the Nintendo games that came out before the Switch, you can play all of them for free on your Steam Deck with emulating. Any game that came before the Switch, they all run super well, and you can play all of them for free. That's like the entire night, like almost the entire Nintendo library. Questionable. Maybe they went to go find the thing. Yeah, they did. No way. Yeah, no way. They like checkmated themselves. It's crazy how modern phones are more powerful than Switch 1. Yeah. See if we can find these guys here. Oh, I think they're gone. Alright, Castle, have a good night, bro. Wow, the lag. Yo, the lag is brutal. The Phantom lagging almost fluked me again. Would have been the second scam tonight. Sony say that their handheld is going to be a massive part of next gen. Some games are already getting patched for it. I don't know. I don't really see a like, I'm gonna be quite honest, guys. Like, I don't really see a reason, like, other than exclusives. Exclusive is the only reason why you'd get a, like, a console nowadays. I'm being totally honest. I feel like the Steam OS, you know, the Steam Deck, it already has, like, if the Steam box was at a good price, actually the Steam Deck got up in price too, actually, now. That's true. Maybe actually not anymore, that now that I think about it, because the price for Valve Steam Deck was affordable before. Now it's not anymore. I was about to say that I think there's not much of a reason to play on consoles nowadays anymore. It's like, except some case-by-case thing, or, you know, you have an exclusive, a game that has X or Y problem on PC or whatever, but for the most part. Alright, Odium, have a good night, man. Take care, dude. That's gonna be quite a tough area to play in. Okay, one of the guy doesn't seem to be attacking me. Oh my god. You know what? He's gonna get the special. And I'm gonna give the host a reward. Not like attacking me there. Since he didn't partake in the gank, you know, I'm not gonna just kill him. A second-hand PC is probably the best way into gaming. Yeah, I forgot to mention, actually, even if the Steam Deck and the you know, even, like you said, I think, like, a second-hand PC that can run Steam OS, like basically an AMD PC, is probably the best way to get into gaming, all things considered. And it's probably the least expensive by a lot, too. Because when it's going to be time to upgrade, quote unquote, you only need to upgrade some parts if you start at budget. And most importantly, you don't have to pay a subscription for online services when you play on Steam. Like, there's no, like, yearly subscription for Steam, unlike PlayStation, Xbox, and even Nintendo. And so, like, guys, like, let's be real here. Like, everyone's gonna be here, like, gaming around for years and years. Like, I don't even know how many years I've been gaming on PlayStation. Like, the price of that online subscription, like, that shit adds up over time. Crazy expensive. Like, like, I don't know, how much is it? Like 100, 120 now? At least Canadian dollar for a PlayStation subscription? Let's just say around 100. Like, like 100 per year? Like, how long does it take to to double the price of your system? The system's gonna be like let's just say the generation for your console is gonna be around for 8 years if you buy at launch. So, like, you're gonna be paying, like, let's say $800 on top of what you already pay for the system. So, like, you buy the PS5 on day one, let's say, and then 8 years later, the PS6 comes out, and so you buy the PS6. And so the PS5 will have cost you, price of launch, plus $800 for all the years of subscription you will have needed. Whereas, like, for that price of launch, let's say the price of launch is like $600. For $600 plus $800, like, you can get a pretty decent PC for $1,400. For $1,400, you're gonna get a very good PC that will definitely outlast whatever console you're trying to purchase. So, if you're trying to get into gaming now, like, except the reality is that's not the case for anyone. Like, no one is trying to get into gaming. Like, everyone's already in, like, everyone's already involved in gaming in one way, shape, or form. Everyone that's interested in gaming, I mean. I think it's more like people who've been, like, people like myself, for instance, right? Like, I've been gaming for a long time, and when I played, like, let's say in the golden age of gaming, it was really like the Xbox 360 days, if I'm being totally honest. And, like, during the Xbox 360 days, there was not much of a reason, unless you liked specific games, to get on PC. Now the script has flipped. Now it's the other way around. There's not much of a reason to play on consoles unless there's a specific title you want to play. Before, it was the opposite. Not much of a reason to play on PC unless specific title you want to play. But that has changed over the years. And so the only people that are getting into PC are people like that who were console gamers for the longest and are making the switch at some point. I feel like everyone is transitioning to PC because it's like the logical choice. I say that as I'm playing Elden Ring on console, but the reason why I'm playing Elden Ring on console is another one of these edge cases. Because when Elden Ring came out, the day it came out, I bought it on Steam, was playing it on Steam, and it kept crashing every 10 minutes. And so basically, From Software's shit PC version of the game at launch forced me into PlayStation. And from there, I never came back. Like, after that experience, I was like, you know what, it's less of a hassle to just play on PlayStation. I'm just gonna do that. So, for this particular case, it was because FromSoft's game was poor on PC that I ended up playing on PlayStation. And even today, like, I'd argue, like, the best version to play this game is the PS4 version on PS5. I mean, I'm not gonna change my mind about that. Like, PC forces you to play mods, like, if you want your game to run properly, which is crazy. Like, that's not the version out of the box. Like, I'm soft being shit again. Kind of sad. How many players? 22 of them. Alright. Try this. Oh! Yo! Fuck out of here. Alright, let's reset that. Kill him now. I do panic roll, but that works too. Bro. Fucking mosquitoes, man. I don't know where they come from. Player count has to be lower in PlayStation, though? I don't think so. We can't see the player count, but don't get me wrong. I think as time goes on, I think PC is gonna start getting the bulk of the market share, but I still think like you need to understand that, you know, let's say 5 years ago, it was PlayStation had more players than Steam by a landslide. Okay, so but these numbers keep like going in favor of PC as the years pass. So at some point you're gonna be true, but I feel like to say that it has to be lower just says to me that you probably are not aware that the bulk of the player base has always been on console for pretty much like 90% of titles. That's just how it is. In your 30 years of gaming, you had 10 years console episode because you like playing from bed, no software complication, but back to PC now saying where the consoles are going. Yeah, that's a very good point. Like the fact that you said seeing where the consoles are going, like you know, like Xbox is a train wreck. Sony just it has the, you know, Sony for some reason they've been dealt the best hand and they keep fucking up, you know, the simple things they have to do over and over. And Nintendo has, you know, always been fairly not consumer friendly. So like you have all these consoles that are really bad, you know, it all mismanaged. And then you have Steam, on the other hand, who's not doing anything particularly great. Actually, that's not true. SteamOS is fucking amazing. But, you know, you have Steam who does, like, what you'd expect, like, a good company to do. Like, you know, they don't work for you, but, you know, they don't have, like, any major fuck-up. Like, they've been staying steady. I will say, though, SteamOS is quite amazing. Like, I think, let me just kill this guy. Yeah, what I was about to say is I think Steam is doing the world a service with SteamOS. I don't think people realize it yet, but like giving us a true alternative to Microsoft is a big deal. I do think that with the development of AI, like, I think the future is actually Linux. Like, AI is just facilitating open platform development like crazy. And so the fact that SteamOS is a thing, like, even though, like, Linux was already a thing and it's arguable that other Linux distros are better than SteamOS, like, SteamOS is streamlined enough so that it brings more people along the Linux alternative. And that's a big deal. That's very important. That's probably the greatest thing that Steam has done. And they're like, Linux is going to keep like taking more and more market share from Microsoft. I'm pretty sure of that. Linux is incredibly hard to mess with, though. That's the thing. Like AI develop, like now, like so, like a few years, let's say before AI, a few years ago before AI, if you wanted to get into Linux, it was extremely technical and limiting, and you needed to get into the weeds of things, and it was hard to find information. Now with AI, like AI just allows you to just like scour the web, like you have in like every information that you're looking for, you have it at your fingertips. So problem solving or troubleshooting now on Linux with the LLMs is you know, it's like troubleshooting anything. Like there's nothing special about it. It's not difficult. If you know, if you know, if you're a minimum tech savvy, like let's just say a minimum, you're not necessarily a programmer or anything like that, but minimum tech savvy, you'll be just fine, because the LLMs allow you to basically mess with any software nowadays, and so it changes the dynamic quite a lot. I feel like everyone are just waiting for their favorite software to be compatible with Linux to make the switch. Yeah, that would be a perfectly valid reason to not switch. Like, you know, like people that use their Windows computer for their work, like they just can't switch to another OS like willy-nilly. Like it's a big jump. Like you're gonna have to change your workflows. Like you don't necessarily want to troubleshoot stuff in the midst of like in the midst of like production or some type of work. Wow, we got aim punch there. Will there be 2v2s during this stream? If Canuck and Fuji are still here and down, we can do 2v2s in like 15 minutes, let's say. But I'm not gonna go for 2s if these guys are not there, because they're no good players. It's not that fun, if I'm being totally honest. Oh, Fuji already dipped? Well, there you go. You gonna try Duskblood? Yeah. I said no many times before, but thanks to Gabri, like Gabri bought us a Switch 2, so now I'm in it for the ride. I don't have any hopes really. Like I'm very skeptical about how Duskblood is gonna turn out, but that's an interesting spawn. Like right in front of him. Because there's 2 players. Perfect there. We got air support. Is From ever going to make these games cross-play? I feel like that boosts the online experience so much. Honestly, their game is already so popular, they don't even need crossplay. The problem is that From Software likes to shoot themselves in the foot. They really do. Like, they separate these games into, like, so many different playable brackets. Like, the people who play at 125, like, don't get to play with people that play at level 200 and 300. And their whole game design is, like, based around, like, segmenting people into a bunch of different boxes. Like, the games would be way more active if they just, you know, if they just lowered the fucking level cap and made more people be able to play together. And it's really that simple. You just have way more activity that way. Like, you know, you can look at the Steam charts, for instance, for Elden Ring, and you'll see, like, you know, so many players, like 30,000, 20,000, which is a good number. And yet, you know, when you play it, sometimes it's not that active, whether you're trying to co-op or not. And also, I said, you know, segmenting players into, you know, into different levels, but you also segment players into different areas, because the matchmaking is not that great, even if, let's say, you can invade everywhere, or even if you can co-op everywhere. It's a PvP focus, to be honest. That's not an argument, though, because if I try to co-op right now, I'm not going to find people for specific bosses that I'm trying to co-op for. Because at the end of the day, the reality is, it's a design problem. Like, FromSoft did not design this shit properly, and it's also a technical problem, because their matchmaking is actually dog shit. And so you have a bunch of these factors working together So yes, you have a smaller portion of the player base that's PvP focused. Then you have these players being segmented in different levels. And then they're separated in different areas on top of that. And even though the game's supposed to match-make different areas, it doesn't work properly, whether you're trying to co-op or PvP. So no matter how you look at it, you know, it's a self-inflicted wound. That's the reality. The PvE focus falls apart when you include the fact that they included PvP in every Souls since Demon Souls. Well, I mean, it's no secret that the bulk of the player base is interested more in the PvE than the PvP. I mean, there's no denying that. It's just that, you know, if I'm trying to co-op, like, I still can't find people. Like, the co-op is even less active than PvP, for that matter. Every time I try to co-op, I can't find people for bosses. Like, I'm sorry, but that's that's a terrible game flaw, you know, for a game that's enjoyable, played online. Like, I'm someone who really enjoys co-op. And the fact that the game doesn't allow you to co-op most of the time because of the way it separates players into a bunch of different boxes, that's terrible. I needed to heal, but I thought I was far away from the edge. Still too close. Story of Gankers again, outplayed and saved. Also, I underestimated the brain size of that co-op partner. I felt like he was too stupid to use the Ash of War from the first interaction. Like, the way he played just didn't look very smart. I wasn't expecting him to do the Ash of War at that moment. Moog is locked from other summoning pools completely. I mean, I'm talking about like any boss, like not just Moog, like DLC bosses. You know, like if you're trying to level up a character, you're going through the game, like you just want to have a little bit of fun while going through the game. Like, it's hard to find people to co-op with unless you are a content creator or something like that. You know, like if you're a content creator, the activity doesn't come from the game, it comes from your chat. Is Tarnished gonna have any multiplayer changes? No. The only thing that's gonna change that's gonna affect multiplayer is you're gonna have the new classes that are gonna be more optimal for PvP, so it might motivate some players to come back, make new builds, and that might increase activity again. I think that's the only impact you'll see on PvP. And, you know, like 3 or 4 new weapons and armor. That's it. I would not expect a patch or anything like that. Like doing co-op for Covenant rewards, it seems pointless in Elden Ring in comparison. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I mean, as far as rewards for online activity, like, holy shit, like, did they miss the mark? Like, it's so easy to add, like, rewards. Like, you just, like, different colors for a weapon. Like, make a sword, like, bronze instead of silver, and all, that's it. And all of a sudden, like, you have an incentive for people to actually do something. Bro, he saved him. Oh, the wave of piss actually hit me there. Oh, he's not dead, bro. That's a scam right there. Holy shit. This game is really good at scamming you. You know what? I'll take a risk. Go here. Yeah. That was not worth it. Trying a bunch of different plays, but not working out. Hit there. Careful about the... Oh, there you go, there you go. Nice. Again. Yo, what's up, Green? How is the Elden Ring going? At the start of the stream, the game was fairly active, and then it's not really active anymore. Yo, Xenos, thanks for the resub for 28, bro. Welcome back. Probably not gonna be playing for long since the activity died out. Try invading from outside. If that changes anything. I was thinking of all of you guys who were on your phone, so I picked like dark areas to invade from. I don't want to go to these bright areas. Let's try what's it? Here. There you go. Finally. Great. Of course it would be a fog wall. It's to be expected. Alright, if we can play this one, it's probably gonna be my last one. Because it's late and it's not very active. Hopefully we can play this one. I like this map. One place. Bro. But you left your buddy. Where are you going? Alright guys, I think we're gonna end it here. I feel like the Elden Ring Tarnished edition is gonna be the last hurrah for Elden Ring. Yes, I absolutely agree with that. I think you're totally right. I think it is gonna be the last hurrah because, you know, well, like after Tarnished, there's not going to be anything else, and there's going to be Duskblood, and then after Duskblood, there's going to be the other mainline game that FromSoft is working on. So you're absolutely right. Alright guys, thanks a lot for everyone who stayed by so late. Really appreciate it. I hope you guys have a good rest of the night, or morning, evening, you know, rest of the day, whatever. Take it easy guys, I'll catch you guys up next time. Alright. Do we have another streamer playing Elden Ring at these hours? Is Owen here? Oh, Oro is there. Swoosh is there. Oro is there. If Oro is... No, he's playing a mod. Never mind. Let's see what Swoosh is doing. If he's doing PvE, we're gonna try someone else. Nope, doing PvP. Alright, let's rate Swoosh. Alright, take care guys. Have a good one.